Os, Happy New Year! Well, full contact karate and coffee. A new year, and we have some new possibilities. Um, on the boring stuff, if you like this, thumbs up. Please spread the word and subscribe to the channel, and we'll try to feed you with some more talk. And if you think you have a question, a topic, so don't be afraid to leave it in the comments and we'll try to answer it. And that is exactly what we are going to do in the first video from 2024. Linus Gustafsson from Sweden. He asked a really demanding question. That's a good question. I don't think I can fill it out to answer it in total. And I also believe this will depend a little bit where you are. I will explain. The question is, to shorten a little bit down, what has happened from the early days up to now when you think about the fighting? How the development of full contact karate, and do we have some special person that has give this an extra push? Is it a special fight that we can relate this to? And talk about this topic, that the development of full contact karate. So, and that is what I mean. If you are in after Susayo Ama's death, we have many organizations, and if you are in one organization, I believe maybe you have one answer for this, because you have someone that you are looking up to and have given you a lot of good advice and have developed you and those around you. And if I'm in another organization, maybe I have another one. So I don't think it's easy to answer maybe for everybody. But we have to start from the beginning. I have to shorten this down. Well, if not, we are suddenly it's 2025 and we're still here. So I have to shorten this a little bit down. And this is how I feel and think about it. This is not a law. So I just share my thoughts about it. Mainly, I feel that in the beginning, when Kyokushin was coming in, the full contact karate was coming in, it was all about being the strongest, and that was also what we was used to see in the first World Championships. Very physical aspect, very physical, crazy and physical, and the development from that, of course, it has been development from that, but a little bit when and where, I think roughly the three first World Championships. Well, the first one win by Sato, and the second and the third by Nakamura. These are very strong fighters, big guys, very strong, coming in like a train, and really great champions. I feel that this is a little bit of the same level of style, very physical, hard and brutal, and it fits a little bit about the time with Kyokushin was working its way up to the surface and being a great style, promoting full contact karate. When it comes to the third and the fourth and the fifth World Championship, then for me it's a switch. The fourth World Championship win by Matsui, and he's a great technician. No doubt about that. We have seen the old fight as well. He is so slick. The timing, very smooth, and he's not a very big guy, but you can see his techniques are so good, and the timing is so strong that he will threaten everybody that's tried to take him. Well, of course, he had many hard fights as well, but I feel that it's a little change when it comes to the fourth that he did win, and to the fifth when Midori was the winner. And maybe a little change also as well into the World Championship that Midori did win. I'm not quite sure of this, but I believe also the fourth World Championship. I believe it was the first time someone also received a technical award, and that was Midori. I think this is right, but please check it up. But I don't think it was a technical award on the earlier previews. So that means that someone are beginning to look at other perspective and belong to brutal fight, hard and brutal fighting. So that means that we have someone are looking at the technical aspect as well. And as I said, Matsui and Midori, very technical. When it comes to Midori, many have said that yeah, but he have to be, because both those World Championship you had 250 fighters, so you have to be smart. You have no other choice. Yeah, well, but many choose also not to be so smart. They try to be the strongest one through every fight, and you will be tear down. So and that is something about the core of full contact Kyokushin. You shall not back. You shall not back out. You will always go forward. And in a big tournament like that, you can't do it because you will be chopped down. The number of fights are so hard, and the number of notable names, top fighters, are also so high. So you can't be the strongest one in every fight through the whole tournament. You have to be smart as well and technical as well, and also have maybe you're able to change things, adapt from one fight to another. So I believe that the first three fights was more physical, more brutal, and the fourth and the fifth World Championship we saw more technical fighting and things was changing. But of course, fighters. Maybe these days fighters are developing more on their own. They're more free. I think in the older day maybe things was a little bit different. That the sensei, the Shihan, will tell you what to do, and you'll do it. And for me, it's no doubt about we had one big factor. For me, this is the man, Hiroshige, and he will, like an amateur, I will give me a second. All right, check him out. He is not, unfortunately, may he rest in peace, he left us in 2018. This guy, he had a dojo, the Yonan dojo in Tokyo, and in the early stage he was building up fighters, and from that dojo you had so many, not only good fighters but exceptional good fighters. I'm not a little bit unsure on which number is correct. Who came to the dojo first and last? But in the start you had Masuda and Kurosawa. Only there you have two absolute top fighters, and also you had Kenny Yamaki. Yamaki was there, and Hajime Kasumi was there, and you had also Midori, and also Tsukamoto was also there, and a lot of more guys. But all these guys are exceptional good. And you can see the fights with these guys. They are really something else. And it's quite clear for me that these guys were thought something, yes, brutal, yes, tough, yes, full contact, but something more. Also a tactical aspect and also a technical aspect. And I believe you can find videos with the team training, and you will see how they are moving away from the first technique and coming in with the counter techniques and things like that. And this is not necessarily what we saw in the previous in the early days, where it was more like two Renos facing each other, and one was in the end maybe a little bit stronger. These guys take Kasumi for example, how he can take your standing foot when you're kicking against him, things like that. Midori as well. So and this also mean, I think, I'm not sure. I think when this trainer is looking at them, he not only have a package that he will train in the dojo. He is also able to watch and see the difference between the fighters and make them as strong as they can get. He's not training everybody at the same thing, because Kurosawa and Midori, it's quite two different fighters, but both are trained maybe on the same basis, but they are able then to be as good as they can be, strengthen the thing that already are natural for them to do. So I think that is one key player. So I am not sure, but I'm you. Yeah, I've seen some training videos from these guys, and you can see them. They are very slick and technical, and they have a high speed when they are training. It could easily be in these days, and that's almost a scary thing. So I think Hiroshi is one of the main character to follow or to watch, and how he trained so many champions. After the split, like many organizations, and it's a little bit hard to follow everyone. Personally, I felt that IKO was what I think it was maybe the top organization, still was a top organization after the split, and they also had the fighters from South America, like Filo and Faitosa was coming in, trained by Isobe, and I think they was pushing the physical aspect even more. I remember watching the training in Brazil when they had the heavy bag, and not only hanging still, but the heavy bag was attached to a slide, so they will punch and kick, and the bag was going across the dojo, and they were following, pushing. And I felt that this was a little bit more in that direction the IKO 1 at that time was going. Sorry. And very strong fighters pushing on. But again, you had Kiyama, was also world champion, very technical, good fighter, and of course Filo did also win, but I felt that there was a little bit more focus on the strength. I don't know, maybe so. But when you think about the dojo that Hiroshi had, and many of these top fighters, they also started their own. I don't know that if they are doing the like now, or they're back in their old organization, I don't know. But and of course, not everybody are with us anymore. But I remember Kurosawa started his own dojo and own thing. Yamaki did the same thing. Kasumi did the same thing as well. So it is something about that environment that was in that dojo, that they were thinking, developing thinking. So I think that is a really good place uh, to start, or to set the focus to when we're talking about development of full contact karate. So yeah, but okay, I will follow a little bit into the organization that I feel I have the best insight in. And I mentioned Tsukamoto was also coming from this dojo, and if Tsukamoto has been by many called the karate revolutionary, and yeah, he's extraordinary. He has come up with so many new ways of thinking, and also he has shown that you don't necessarily have to do things that we have done before. You can change things and still win, but because it's not easy every time to try to change things, because if you don't knock out your opponent, you will have judges sitting around, and it's not for sure that they have understood what you're doing. So they could give the win to the other person, even though you have hurt him more. And like a typical example that I've seen fighters are very good as to move and still deliver very good punches and kicks, but they've never been hit self. They're moving, angling, and moving. And I've seen that they have taken their opponent and beat them, almost crushed them, but the other opponent is strong, and the Kyokushin will is coming in and moving forward, but not actually doing more than that. And I've seen in some cases that the person going forward, yeah, you will get the win because you're moving forward, and that is a little bit different from what you might think may be the result. But I've seen it, and of course, if you go out from the tournament and you think, okay, he did win. All right, should I continue doing what I done, or should I be like him? Should I also try only moving forward? So sometimes it's a little bit different as well. The proof is to knock someone out, but many of the fights don't go there. You go to the judges, so that is also something that can push things in one direction or another. So I think that is sometimes it's difficult to develop. But yeah, I mentioned Tsukamoto. Um, Personally, if you want, I feel if you want to see what he have really been doing, I would go through all Japan Open fights, older old Japan Open fight, and work myself up to, not up to now because he's retired, but up to his retirement. Yes, the World Championship are great, some cool knockouts and spectacular fights. But I feel that if you want to see his development and how he's working and thing he's come up with, the all Japan Open fights are really something interesting. And if we take 2006, the All Japan Open, I think it was the 38 All Japan Open. This was, and Tsukamoto did win that one. This was, I think this was 10 years since he has won the All Japan Open the first time. So that tells a lot about someone that is keep on going after so long with fighting. But in this All Japan Open, and then it was a high level because 2006 All Japan Open. That means that they were qualifying to the World Tournament 2007. So all the top names was in the lineup. And Tsukamoto, he did knockout almost every one of the top fighters in Japan. And his setups was so good. He did not knock out in the final. I think he fought Sukakushi in the final. Sukakushi in the final. But that also is a very technical, good fight. He's always adapting the distance, so he can use kicks and punch with very good effect. He's not driven into the war with Sukakushi because Sukakushi is really strong and big, so that will be in favor of Sukakushi. He's really good to keeping the distance in the final. But coming to the final, and I don't remember every name, but I remember he was knocking out Kuno, and Kuno was all really strong fighter, and been All Japan Open winner from before. He did knock out Kunihiro Suzuki, also the same technique. And I have one more, I think, but I don't remember the name. But he did the same setup almost for everyone. He made them push in. And when they believe it's one more push, he will go with a high knee. And many of these we have seen on the highlights. But see the whole fight and see how he sets it up. That is really great, because he knew. I think he knew that if he was pushing the Kyokushin deep inside, will push back, and when he knew that will happen, he changed the game. Then you can see the knockouts of Kuno and Suzuki. They are leaning in and they are going tagging with a knee to the head. So that is something really spectacular, and that is typical development. Like now you can't just push in like that because you will be taken. And this is quite classic Kyokushin, leaning in, pushing, and leaning using the weight, pushing forward. And Tsukamoto, he showed that, no, I don't think you should do that anymore. Not at this level. So he's been developing a lot. Of course he has been. But I've seen people doing like the roll kick that he does. I've seen other one doing that before him, but he is a specialist. And like Valeri Dimitrov with the heel kick, and when he said the Valeri kick, I've seen also people using that kick before Valeri. I saw like Benno Rasmussen from Denmark. I've seen an old video that he is fighting. I think it's in the 80s. In a tournament in Norway, and he's using that kick. But of course the Tsukamoto and Valeri Dimitrov, these guys, they not only use the techniques, they find new way that they can use them, and that is development for me. Remember I saw that they were doing the roll kick, Tsukamoto and Dimitrov. Both of them showed how you will set it up. And they just don't throw themselves around like many do. No, it's timing and it's a plan of everything. So they don't only know the technique, they master it. So I think that is something is important. Oh. Yeah. So mainly, I think that we have moved from being to have a breakthrough with Kyokushin full contact, and very much focus on brutal power and strength, and never back down. And we slowly have a transition to more technical fighting, and also tactical fighting, and through the years we have also seen that many of the fighters, they don't look like they did for many years back. From some years back, they only look, there's many who look like a square. It was really big, and you nothing like you couldn't beat them, but you could move around them, and that is, for me, I believe I see that more now that the average weight has gone down, and the pace are going up. No doubt about it. I remember we saw like Valery Dimitrov was, I think it was in 2018 in open weight in Hungary, and they fought a really good fighter in the final, Mashek Masur, and I remember that I was watching the fight, and the pace that Dimitrov had, that was a little bit new for me. Maybe this is something that maybe you don't see it like that, but I felt that he was really high on the pace. Many fast punches, not a boom 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 only the strong, but the pace was so high, and he, like a condition on a new way of conditioning, and also like on the lower level and on the early days, it was every punch and kick with bad intention. Now it's you don't know which kick or punch is hard. The frequency is high, and one of them could be some of them the punches are fake, and some are with power. So I think the Kyokushin or the full contact karate, the development has, a matter of fact, followed the society. Everything now goes faster. It's been more technical. It's a higher pace of everything. Yeah. Well, I'm almost up to a half an hour, and I will give every one of you a spirit prize if you will watch the whole episode. As I said in the start, I have, even though I am shortened this so much down, I feel I'm almost feeling bad because I have so many names and so many persons I want to mention that have been pushing things in the right direction. There are so many good fighters, and there are so many good trainers that are doing this. So it's difficult. It's difficult. So, but for sure, moving in the right direction, and think about people that have been successful, but also have been losing, but they come back. Like they lose some fight and they come back, and maybe they are facing the same opponent and win. That is always interesting. What have this person been doing now? What is altered? So that is also very interesting. And fighters that they are thinking beyond the trophy, not only winning, they are willing to try something new, maybe sacrificing a win. That is also very, very cool. Like Harris Wallman Sensei's student, Marius Ilas, I will say is one of those. When he was fighting, he did things that I'm quite sure he came up with them when he was fighting. So people who are not afraid to try out new things, and people are losing and going up against the same person after a while again and winning. Follow them, see what they have been doing in the meantime. That is something that is very interesting, because probably they have been developing themselves. So sorry for everyone I couldn't mention. Linus, thank you for the question. search up Hiroshi and watch his dojo, and watch fights from All Japan Open with Sukamoto. Do so. Maybe the one with Shinchunua will be one of the best. Okay, us, see you around.